with all these introduction to relational database and the NoSQL, we can clearly see that one of the important thing is data coming in as a JSON, and eventually, at some point, need to be converted and stored in relational database. This is actually a very common thing, especially these days as the popularity of IoT, Internet of Things, increase, and many devices, data sources are currently directly generating results. In the old days, usually uh, external devices will be connected to certain application and store their data into send their data into a application. That application will process the information and save that to a relational database. But nowadays, more and more devices are directly communicating with a centralized data management system, and you are getting the data directly as in JSON format. So there is always a consistent. So now it's more than ever. There's a need to process JSON directly based on a relational schema. The way we want to do JSON processing in relational database is to flatten the schema. Um, we already said that JSON is schemaless, but schemaless does not mean there's no schema. There is some kind of schema. Usually, for most of the JSON document, especially those generated by a machine, there is a core set of attributes. These attributes usually carries the identification information of the document. Uh, and then with these elements, with these attributes, there will be other attributes that can be suitable for each situation. For example, if you think about a social networking post, right? Post can have many different things. It can have image, audio, some hashtag. All these are optional. You can have them. You don't need to have them. But if essentially there will be some common characteristics that every post will carry. Which site does this post come from? Who issued this post, and what's the time of it, and what's the URL of it? So these are core set of attributes that can be utilized to uniquely identify the post or the real instance in real world. On top of that, you have these option values that differs from post to post. But that's what we are mentioning here. There is a core set of attributes and there are like optional attributes. For those core set of attributes, you can when you convert this the JSON document to relational database, you can put them directly as columns in the relational database. And other columns can be defined use a JSON-related data type. For example, we have a semi-structured schema which have key value pair A, key value pair C, key value pair A, key value pair B1 and B2. You may also have another key value pair where the value itself is a key value pair X and Y. And then you have undetermined uh, array, array of flexible length of D. So here, A and B1 and B2 are relatively stable, and usually they carry some kind of identification information. So when you convert it to relational schema, you can use three columns, A, B1, B2. And then if X, Y is also determined, if we are sure that under C there's only X and Y, we can put a C X and CY as separate columns. Or if we only know there's a C, we don't know what may be inside X and Y, we can put C as a column with a JSON type. And finally, for D, if there is an undetermined amount of size of array, we can define this as a foreign key. So for example here, right, you have a business entity ID, first name, last name, middle name. Apparently, business entity ID is the character is the core data set that carries the identification information. So here you will convert it to business entity ID, then for first name, last name, middle name, because this document happens so that the fields in all documents are same. If there are more, like if this one is missing a middle name, you don't need to have a middle name here for this role. If this one also has something like engineer, like their job position, like job position may be by itself another document. You can have another column here as a job position, or even just the remaining, it's called the remaining other columns or remaining columns, where all the other key value pairs can be placed there.